die. Think of love like a friend, not an enemy. My love was in ever again. I lay my cards out on the table. There's nothing to gamble away, but I can promise that you'll never be the same. But I can promise that you'll never be the same. Maybe I'm a little young, but you don't know what I've become. Can't you see it in my face? But even living in disguise, but you can see the killer in my eyes. I've got a look you can't escape. 僕の未来は誰にもわからない。
Good morning, everybody. How you doing this morning? Oh man, what's going on? My PC crashed yesterday. If you didn't watch the Clear as Mud, you may not be aware of that. So I've had to basically what do you call it? Rebuild everything, and I think it's quite obvious that some of the what the hair? Come on. So some of the stuff is not quite like it needs to be. Let me see if I can get this fixed a little bit better. Here we go. We'll go like so. Right here we go. Yeah. Lock that into place. That's better. Okay. So anyway, needless to say, I don't know. My freaking network is being complete total crap today as well. It may pause on you guys. I'm not getting a good, strong, solid, my normal KBS for set, when I'm streaming. So I don't know what's going on. This weekend was just a crap weekend for me. But we're not gonna let it affect us. We're not gonna let it run our day, right? This wonderful, great Monday to a wonderful new work week. Anyway, so let's just get right into it, right? Oh geez, yeah, the chat over here is screwed up too. So let's see if I can't fix this here. Let's go. YouTube chat. Shrink it up just a little bit. Shrink this in just a little bit like so. And blow that up. Make it a little bit bigger for you guys. There we go. Yeah, hopefully that's better. Okay. All right. So it's a Monday, so this looks like a job for Super Coffee. 100%. 100%. It's day for Super Coffee. I don't know about this backdrop that I've got in here now and the frame that I have around my the window that I'm sharing. If it's a little bit too much, guys, if you think it's a little bit too busy, let me know. And I'll rethink it. So let's start off. So Willie Mack put out a tweet yesterday. Says it got a little attention. About 747,000 views to be exactly attention. He was quote tweeting this snippet, this little clip here from this guy, homosexual, said least egotistical content creator. So let's listen to this clip.
Clear that
This
I am absolutely responsible for my audience. If you want to, you know, look out for people who are red flags, it's definitely people who had my mentality that say, I'm not responsible for what my audience does.
I completely agree. And there are so many fucking content creators out there that just leave that at the door. They like turn on, they go in their computer and they do their content and do this. And the second they're offline, they just like let the snowball go down the hill. You are absolutely responsible for your audience and what they're saying and doing and what's happening in different discords and stuff. You have to. No one else can be. You are the mother that birthed that audience, right? They are a reflection of you. It makes me sick to think of like what you guys might say and do in other channels. That's why I'm like very strict here, right?
Clear.
Okay. So this guy here, I don't know who this creator here is. I don't know if that's actually the, I don't think that's this guy here. Doesn't matter, I don't guess. But I don't agree with that at all. Willie Mack says you're not responsible for your audience unless you directly tell them to do something. They are their own people. If you have 100,000 viewers, statistically speaking, one of them is going to be unhinged. Nathan Stans is his name. Thank you, Eva. Nathan, I vehemently disagree with you. And I agree with what Willie is saying. A streamer is not responsible. That is essentially saying that the people who come in and they watch a streamer or watch a content creator are mindless robots, that they're sheep, that and that's not true. They have minds. They may not make the best decisions sometimes. They may go do things that, are horrific. But that doesn't mean that the person is responsible. The creator that they watch is not responsible for their actions. That is the most ludicrous thing I've ever said. Unless that creator is saying specifically, hey, I want you to go and, like if a creator is having beef with another creator and he or she instructs their audience to say, hey, go and tweet at this person. I want them to come on my stream. Help me get them on my stream. Tweet it. Okay. And harass them. Okay. That's out of pocket. That's out of line. Right. If they're a content creator and I don't know, let's say they're hyping some, a shit cryptocurrency, right? And they tell all their fans, hey, go buy this cryptocurrency, man. It's going to be a really cool thing. And it's going to make you all a lot of money. And they get their fans to buy into all that crypto. And then they pull the rug out from underneath them. And they take all that money for themselves and leave their fans holding the bag. Okay. You're responsible for that too, right? That's a shit thing as well. But if you're just a content creator that's creating content stuff, you have disagreements with other creators and you critique what they're doing. You say, hey, I don't agree with this thought. I don't agree with this ideology. I don't agree with this stance. That in no way is instructing your audience, your viewers, to go and harass that person. You're just saying, I don't agree with this. I don't agree with this stance, right? Well, I guess evidently this was a very polarizing statement. Ryan Beard says, do you genuinely believe that influencers have absolutely zero influence over people? And do you think creators hold no responsibility if they influence people negatively? The idea that creators hold absolutely no responsibility for negative influence is so ignorant. And Willie said, nobody said that. Obviously, if you spread misinformation, scam, or tell your audience to harass someone, that's on you. Exactly. I agree with that. I agree with that statement. I'm just saying I'm not their dad just because they watch my YouTube videos. Stop shoving words in my mouth. You do this all the time and it's annoying. Ryan follows up, says, all right, well, I think encouraging people to say slurs falls under the category of misinformation because that's prompting what I consider harmful information. I'm not saying creators are people's parents, but they do hold partial responsibility for their influence. Willie Mack says, slurs are not information, you fucking idiot. Ryan follows back up, says the argument that it's okay to say slurs is information. When you try to convince an audience of an argument, that is, you're trying to inform your audience that your perspective is correct. Willie Mack rebuttals and says, you fundamentally do not understand iDubbbz's argument. He was simply saying, if you're okay with some slurs, you should be okay with all of them. Also, slurs have nuance. Saying one of them for a comedy skit is completely different than being racist and mean with them. So, why is that? Okay, we fixed that. That was way too fast. Okay. So, of course, Ryan Beard went to and was referencing the iDubbbz thing. You know, if one is okay, then they're all okay, right? And I don't, and of course now iDubbbz has come out and he has said that that was a stupid stance, that it was he was he no longer stands behind that statement, period, right? I think my stance is real plain and simple. I think that any word, period, that is going to be used or, is being used in a negative context, right? Should be off the table, right? Shouldn't be used. Now, I'm an advocate for free speech. I think anybody, a person can say whatever they want to, whenever they want to say. It doesn't mean that there's not repercussions for what they say, but they should be allowed to say it. But this stance of that, of gatekeeping, right? Gatekeeping words. I'm not for that, right? So if a gay man, for example, goes around and gets into and says, well, you can't say the F slur, for example, right? Because that's offensive. And I agree, it's offensive, right? It is an offensive word. But then that same person then goes around and gets into a disagreement or a beef with another gay person and starts using that word as a term to diminish or to hurt, right? To belittle. Is it still a slur? Well, by the ideology that some people live by, no, it's not, because that person's gay, so that gives them the ability to say the word. No, I disagree. If, for example, a person of color goes around and uses those type of words, then they say, well, they're a person of color, so they can say that. Okay. Then when they get into an argument or disagreement with somebody, and it doesn't matter what the skin color of the other person is, and they start using that term as in a hateful manner, directed towards that person. Is it still okay? Is it a slur? Not too long ago, there was some uproar because, for example, Hassan over on Twitch got a ban because he referred to a Caucasian person as a cracker. And he said, well, that's not a slur. Well, in fact, it is. It is a slur, right? And that's what, to me, I think that's what iDubbbz was talking about, right? If people are okay with one slur being said, right? then they should be okay with all slurs being said. And that's what Willie is arguing here, right? And then, of course, he goes on further on to say that, if it's used in a joke, right? If it's part of a joke or a comedy or something like that, it brings a whole different meaning to it. It's a whole different, context, right? So, I don't know. I think for people who put out these arguments, I think they're pearl clutching. They're grandstanding. Me personally, I honestly wish people would just be respectful, right? That's one of the things that I've, have tried to do my best, is just to be respectful, to treat people like human beings. And I think it takes little effort to do that, right? But when Willie put out this rebuttal to Ryan, says, you fundamentally don't understand IW's argument. He was simply saying, if you're okay with some slurs, you should be okay with all of them. Also, slurs have nuance. Saying one of them for a comedy skit is completely different than being racist and mean with them, right? Paige Christie evidently, quote, she says, I don't know, bro. Go to the hood and say a N-word joke. I don't think folk will give a fuck about satirical nuance. People say this stuff on the internet. That's why it doesn't hold its power, because it's the net butt on the street. People end up bloody and blue over these jokes. Do they? I mean, I understand if a person goes into a predominantly, say, black neighborhood and starts throwing around certain words, yeah, I could understand.
Suck your own butthole. You're doing great.
Oh, here, what's this here? Ken W. When creators encourage chat raids for fun, then if your audience goes after someone that disagrees with you later, then have you not set a precedent by having the joke chat raids? No, I think they're two separate things. If you're going and raiding in somebody who, let's say you want to boost that person's channel, like if it's a small streamer, you go in, or if it's a friend of yours and you go in and you are raiding them to hype up the stream, whatever, I think that's fine, right? If then a group of people who watch your stream get it in their heads, hey, let's go around and do hate raids and things like that, which occur, right? You're not responsible for that. You haven't set that precedent because you didn't do a hate raid. You went in there to liven up, to show support, to bring a little bit, of excitement into a stream. And it's positive. No, I don't agree with that at all. I do not. I do not agree with that analogy. I don't think a creator is responsible for that at all. Just like in every one of my shows, I do my best to go out and I shout out other channels, right? And some of the smaller creators and stuff that's out there that I'm aware of, and I shout them out and I say, hey, go throw these people support. If I have somebody in my stream, right? If I have somebody in my stream that, for whatever reason, doesn't like one of the other creators that I've shouted out, if they then, instead of going and being encouraging and putting, words of affirmation or words of encouragement in chat or when they're streaming or on a video that they put up on their channel, am I responsible for that? No. Why? No, I did not puppet that person to go and put those words in chat or comment underneath the video. I'm not responsible for see, It's called personal responsibility. People are responsible for their own actions. And I think that's something that is lacking in today's society. People want to go out and do these horrible things, and then they want to blame it on somebody else. Well, I saw this person do this, and so I felt like that was the way an act to behave. No, you God give you a brain, use it. You engage it up here, right? Ask yourself, if I go do this, right, is there going to be repercussions? Is there something that can happen to me that could be negative in nature, right? Can I do this more preachy and more dramatic for the motivational video? Sure, just for you, Hujin. I will be more preachy. I'll be more everything. Good morning, Mr. Orson Welles. How are you this morning, sir?
Hello, sir. How are you? Just 1 second. I just paused the stream.
Okay.
How are you keeping?
I'm doing quite well.
I'm just calling in just
Okay.
on the back of this free speech debate because I'm
Sure.
a strong advocate of free speech.
Okay.
In Ireland right now, they're currently in the process of passing a hate speech bill, which is extremely vague
Okay.
and extremely draconian.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a writer, and I believe in the right to express my thoughts and, creative liability
Sure.
and all this.
Sure.
And I'm under threat of receiving a €5,000 fine if the government deem my content to be hateful
Yeah.
towards a minority group or any kind of group,
Yeah.
doesn't matter, gender, race, religion.
Sure.
And I find that terrifying. I find that absolutely terrifying, that I could go to prison for something I do,
The thing that is befuddling to me, right, is, all right, so right now, you have certain demographics of people out there that are, how do I put it? Very powerful when it comes to social media, that are powerful when it comes to legislation and stuff, right? And so the thought that you can't critique or criticize a demographic of people because of poor behavior as a whole, right? I think is very, very is a problem, right? Because here's the deal. If you have some activists, right, who come in and all of a sudden they start labeling you're this type of phobic or you're that type of phobic because you do not agree wholeheartedly with our ideologies or our beliefs, so therefore that makes you phobic for whatever demographic it is, right? Or you're racist or you're bigoted or whatever it is. Now all of a sudden they are, how do I put it? So now all of a sudden you've got a label hung around your neck, and the fact that they can the fact that your country is going to legislate that ideology is very problematic, right? Because now all of a sudden you are giving extreme power to certain demographics, and then in other ones you're subjecting them to an unfair living or unfair conditions, as far as you're unleveling the playing field. And that's what I've always said. You cannot elevate one demographic by diminishing another demographic. The way that you make
absolutely.
The way that you make it level is you bring the other one up. You don't push the one. If you got one demographic that's up here, one demographic that's up here, the way you don't do it is push this one down, right? No, you raise the other one up, right? You give them the same opportunities. You extend to them the same chances, right? That they're not in any way restricted, limited, or anything by who they are. They're given, afforded the same. But what you don't do is you don't say, "Oh, we're going to push you down one side down because, oh, you know you've had these advantages." So we're going to lessen your existence. We're going to diminish your existence and elevate this. That's just
I'll
not
tell
the
you
way.
a prime example of how the politicians don't understand this hate speech bill that they're
Yeah.
passing. There was two Irish politicians debating on a radio show,
Yeah.
and the person who was for the bill said that the bill was put in place for those who threaten or slander people. And I was pulling my hair out because
Yeah.
threats and slander do not fall under free speech. If you threaten somebody's life, it's a
Sure.
threat.
Sure.
Yeah. If you slander someone, if you slander their name, if you make absolutely outlandish claims about them that they can sue you in a civil court,
Sure.
it does not fall under free speech. Freedom of speech is freedom of thought. It's the
Yes.
first thing you do when you think of something, you speak it. And for those of you who say, well, there's people who say abhorrent things, I was listening to an activist. He's also a rapper. His name is Killer Mike, really good rapper. But he said, with freedom of speech, I know who my enemy is. If a guy gets up and starts saying racial slurs against my people, I will let the man speak. But you can be damn well sure I will go down to the ballot box and vote for the other guy. Because
Sure.
with freedom of speech, you know who your enemy is. And when you pass these laws, you stifle people's opinions to the fact that nobody knows who the enemy is. Everybody is paranoid. And you can get arrested for supposedly saying something. You might even say it. And then you have to prove it in a court, and it could take 2 years of litigation to even get to a courtroom. And during that time, you are guilty until proven innocent.
Yeah.
That's the way they see you. Yeah, it is. It's absolutely mind-boggling, and it affects everybody. It affects everybody who's a YouTube creator. It affects everybody who has any artistic temperament whatsoever, and even in the workplace.
Yeah.
Even a joke heard wrong, a person can lose their job. I think it's Orwellian.
It's very Orwellian. Yeah. And it's the
Yeah.
thing about it is Orson, is there are people within power, within the political sphere here in the States that would be quite all right with enacting laws, right, to restrict speech because, quote, hate speech, right? And it's kind of like when they pass laws in here in the States, and so it's a hate crime.
Yeah.
I never understood that. What do you mean it's a hate crime? Well, they were racially motivated when they committed this crime. Okay. But the victim is dead. Yes, it was a hate crime. Well, I'm pretty sure that if he had not have said anything racial in nature when he was murdering this person, I don't think it makes the person any less dead. How about we just focus that there was a murder that was committed? Why does it, labeling and hanging the word hate around it? Yeah, well, if you're killing someone, I'm pretty sure you have hatred in their heart.
Yeah.
That was just always such a foreign concept to me, right? We have laws on the books to punish misbehavior, right? If a person assaults and batteries somebody, right? That's a crime, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's
Yeah.
again.
Well, I tell you the other thing as well is that during the events of any history, in Ireland or America, during the most troubling times, let's say, for example, the American Civil War, slavery.
Sure.
Over here, we had the famine. We
Yes.
still have freedom of speech. We still had the right to stand up and basically speak our minds about our oppressors.
Yeah.
And they're trying to take that right away now for any event that may occur in the future. It's really, to think that in the depths of slavery, in the depths of any kind of oppression that happens anywhere in the world, that this civil right can be taken away from people is it's scary. I find it very scary.
Yeah, well, I mean, if we go back even further, right, in history, especially in the States, right, when the founding fathers of this nation decided, hey, we no longer want to be under the rule of England, right, and they started speaking out against them, that was treasonous. That was not allowed. They literally put their lives at the end of a sword to speak out. And so that's why when the colonists fought for freedom, they wanted to ensure that we always have the right to say whatever it is that we want to say. That's why it was the very first amendment, freedom of speech, that we are allowed to say whatever it is we want to. Now there are, of course, there's always some. You have to apply some common sense to it, right? So you can't go inside of a densely packed building and say, fire, and cause people to panic and flee and get hurt, whatever, because your words directly caused injuries to other people. So yes, you can't do that. But if you want to go to
thread, it's a bomb thread. Is
exactly.
A bomb
Yeah,
thread.
yes. But if you want
it doesn't
to,
fall under
no, exactly. So if you wanted to go to, say, a park and get a megaphone, and you wanted to start spouting some of the most vilest, garbage known to man, you can do that. You may get punched. Okay. You may suffer some physical discomfort. The person that does it's going to be arrested, of course, because that's assault, battery, that type of thing. Yeah. But you can still say these things, right? You have that freedom to say whatever, and if you're willing to take your lumps or your bruises or whatever it is that that's you still have that right to say it, and the government cannot, so police can't come in there. There's several cases like, you have someone that is protesting something, right? And so they'll be saying not even just cursing, just saying curse words, right? And police have tried to say, well, you can't say that. Why can't you say that? Well, you're cursing. Yeah. And they go out and look. There's been several cases where policemen have tried to stop that, have arrested, have ticketed, so forth. And every one of them, they've been thrown out and dismissed. Why? Because you cannot limit or restrict speech, right? So if the person wants to sit there and call a cop every name underneath a book, right? Just curse them like a dog, as they say. You can do that, right? Period. So I don't know. I that's scary for you, man. That is scary to think that your country is going to take that just natural right away from you. That that is.
They will say that freedom of expression will be okay. That if you're a writer but they don't mean it. They always lie. They always lie.
Sure.
Once you give them an inch, they take a mile.
Oh, of course.
And I've written to all the senators in this country. I've written to politicians. I only got 2 replies, and one of them basically told me this is going to happen. So deal with it. Yeah. And I just replied to him saying, I'm not paying the fine. If I do get fined, I am not paying it. You're going to have to arrest me.
Yeah.
So
it's kind of,
I mean,
it was kind of like Count Dankula, right? And that whole thing that he went through, over in the UK with his little dog.
Yeah, and there was a person arrested during the weekend. He wore now the shirt was a vile message. It was in reference to a mass 97 football fans died for in a crush. It was Liverpool fans, and a Manchester United fan wore a shirt basically with a dark joke about that incident.
Okay.
But if you weren't a soccer fan, you wouldn't have got the reference. But he's been arrested and charged with promoting hateful speech.
Yeah.
Now, ban him from the stadium? Absolutely. Ban him from stadiums for life?
Suck your own
Sure
butthole.
thing.
You're doing great.
Arrest him? No. I mean, that's whatever you think of the joke or his reasoning behind it. You know, he is an idiot.
Yeah.
I don't think he should be arrested for it. And this is the problem with free speech advocates. You got to put your foot down and say it's free speech for all, even if you disagree with it, even if it makes you, fill up with rage.
JFA has some words of encouragement for you, Orson. He says, "Why doesn't Orson's people revolt? We did it, and it turned out just fine. Good morning." So he thinks the Irish people should just revolt. You should have a revolution over there.
We have about 3 different crises happening right now. There's an immigration crisis where they've opened the borders and the country is full.
Yeah.
There's no room to house even the Irish. There's over 15,000 homeless in Ireland.
Mm-hmm.
But all the free accommodation is going to asylum seekers. And the Irish are protesting that. And our media is run by the government, so they're not covering the protests. So it's not a good place to be right now.
Well, we've got a little problem with immigration right now here in the States as well.
Yeah.
We're dealing with a little bit of it too. We would ask you guys to be a little bit generous, and because, Keffels is moving over there to Ireland. So we would ask you to open the door and let her, please. Let her come on over there.
No, do you know why? She's going to get people arrested for hate speech. She will. She will call up the police and say, this one said something hateful towards me.
Yeah.
And press charges.
Yeah.
And it could be me.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we'll start a GoFundMe, get Orson, out of jail. So get you out of the clink, man. Well, brother, I hate to hear that. Well, maybe, what? It may be time for the next big Irish immigration, and instead of it being a potato famine, it's a famine of free speech. Maybe it's time for you guys to, that's when my family, some of my kinfolk came over here from Ireland during the famine, came in right through Ellis Island. Man, I sat there and saw their little names on the little ticket book, whatever the book where they came over into this into the States during the famine. So it may be time for another big so I don't know. Well, listen,
another exodus.
Yeah, I appreciate you calling in. I hope that doesn't. More than likely, it probably will, because let's just be quite honest. Politicians, for the most part, are idiots. They don't think. They don't reason out the pros and cons of everything. They just say, "Oh, well, that makes me feel good. Where do I sign?" So. But I hate to hear it, and I wish you all the best in the world, Orson. I really do, man. So,
thanks for having me on.
Hey, no problem. You have a great day, buddy. Yeah. All right. So that was Orson Welles, guys. Man, that's scary. That is extremely scary. It's just a scary thought, man. That a country would go in and pass that type of legislation. Anyway, all right. So let's just move on, because I got a couple other things. Keemstar put out a tweet saying Jesus needs to return now. This here is a woman. Her name is Denise Frazier. She's 19 years old. She was from the great state of Mississippi. She was caught filming herself having relations with her dog outside of a church. This is a screenshot of an article about that situation. She recently got out and she said, the most annoying thing about getting out of jail is seeing how people are so judgmental. Yes, I did it in a church, but some of you don't even go to church. Some of you are judging me, but God didn't judge me. At the end of the day, I'm thick, cute, and very smart. I guess she thinks she's Windy, Wisconsin. If you guys don't know who Windy, Wisconsin is, do a little Googling, look back in the lore. The head is the internet. But it goes on. Here's the issue I have with people on Twitter. I know for a fact what I do with my dog is normal. You all do it too. It's been normal. Ask your aunts, sisters, moms, nieces. They do it too. But Americans are hypocrites. Europeans support me though. They real love over there. This Manchester, I don't know who that is, says you got my support. Okay. And then says Alice says you might be hotter than me, Denise, but there's no way you're kinkier. She says, girl, I done dogs, ponies, horses. I'm kinky AF. Yeah, so that's a girl you want to bring around to mom for Sunday dinner and introduce her, right? I mean, that's exactly. Don't forget Hypnotist Sapo. I'm not familiar with that one, Mr. Gamer. But anyway, yeah. So, question, guys. If you were sitting at home and you're trying to play some video games, maybe do a little streaming, not for sure. Kids are asking you questions or whatever. And this happened. What would you do?
He's not catching ball with you?
Yeah.
You need somebody to play ball?
Yeah, I'm out. I'm out. New apartment, new house. I'm out. Whatever. I'm done. I'm gone. I'm out. Bye. See ya. I ain't dealing with no haints. I'm out of here, y'all. I'm out. You hear me? I'm done. So question. How many of you guys in chat? Oh, Max. Yes.
What the hell, man?
What do you mean, what the hell? Was that you? Was that you, Max? Did they catch you? Did they catch you in the act?
If that happens inside your house, who do you think is going through the fridge, man? I'm just hungry.
Well, okay.
Oh, I'm so glad it's a laughing matter to you. What the fuck? What is this discrimination? I'm sorry I can't control my fucking translucency. Do you have any idea how hard that is?
Freedom of speech, baby. Suck it.
Okay. Well, that's the last time I go, rummaging through your fridge looking for peanut butter. Right? I just needed the peanut butter. I already had the jelly out. Don't ask me why the jelly was just sitting out there. You're the only motherfucker I know that puts the goddamn peanut butter inside the fridge and the fucking jelly on the fucking counter.
First of all, my peanut butter is in the cabinet where it belongs, like a decent, because if you put the peanut butter in the refrigerator, it gets very cold and you can't spread it. It tears your bread.
Cold.
Come on, everybody knows that.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's inconvenient. Wait, you don't put.
No.
Oh, shit, whose house am I inside?
I don't know whose house you were in, brother, but it wasn't mine. I know whose house. I know who it was.
Wait, hold on. Hold on. Can you hear this?
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah.
Well, you heard it on the phone. Did you hear it like in the house?
No.
Oh shit, I gotta go.
Okay. He was probably over at Seth. Him and Seth have kind of got this weird relationship. I don't know what it is. she's under the impression that they're, I don't know, bedmates or something. But
Oh my god, people, why are you leaking?
I'm not leaking. You said in the podcast yesterday that you
Why
guys.
are you leaking, dude?
I'm not. There
Jesus
may be
Christ.
there may be some leaking, but it ain't me. It is not
Hey,
me.
yo? Hey, yo. I was just wondering, like, what D-Max used to need that peanut butter for, considering what we were talking about with the dog and everything. I don't know. Kind of weird.
That is
Kind of
kind of
fucking
weird. Yeah,
I
it
might
is
have
kind
to
of
get a
weird.
divorce.
He might have to get a divorce. Did you hear him
You know
clapping?
what?
Was he in your house? Maybe that's the, he was hearing you
Yeah,
clap.
for real.
So
Yeah, for real, he was. Yeah. You know what's the best thing to be reincarnated as?
What is the best thing to be
A
reincarnated?
white woman's dog, dude. You get to hit it, and you eat like fucking amazing food and shit. You get to sleep in the bed. Like that's just like being a fucking like human with no responsibilities.
So you're saying that's you're leveling up when you're
Mm-hmm.
reincarnated as a white woman's. Okay. All right, I'll take your word for it. I wouldn't know because I'm not
Life
a
of the party, bro.
awesome. So let me ask you a question, Seth.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't expecting guests this morning so much, but anyway, so let me ask you a question. Do you think did you know that, that masturbation is a form of witchcraft?
I think you might have pulled up some weird TikTok looking ass shit.
No. This woman here says that masturbation is a form of witchcraft. And so I guess you guys can just call me Gandalf the Grey.
Masturbation is a form of witchcraft.
Shadow Wizard Money Gang. We love casting spells.
Exactly.
Dude, that's a banger. That's a banger meme.
He
I'd
did.
love to hear her explanation. Actually, what does the original video say?
I have no idea. I just
I
found,
gotta find out.
I just a little snippet. It says, okay,
That's
fine.
fucking great. See,
Fine.
that's why I'm so weak. It's because I don't masturbate because I'm.
Is that what
like
it
a
is?
Jewish boy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I got a little bit of an update on this guy, Mizzy, right? I've talked about him a few times, on the channel here. He recently went on, a television show called Talk TV. One of the hosts' name is Andre Walker. It's I guess it's a show over there in the UK. But anyway, he was on there, and this occurred.
Do you think that you doing this on social media will encourage other people to commit crimes that potentially could cause a lot of damage? And by damage, I mean it could cause somebody to, be incredibly injured or something like that. Do you think you've encouraged that kind of behaviour? And he's not answering the question. Do you think
I don't understand this whole...
Do you want to be like a good role model?
No, hang on a second. You can do that to me. You're not doing it to a guest. You stare at another guest again, and I'm going to personally remove you. I'm not taking the mick. You glared at her in a threatening fashion. You do that, I'll drag you out by the hair, and you can be as hard as you pretend you are. You apologise to her right now, or you're leaving.
I respect you, but I'm done here.
Good riddance to bad rubbish. Threatening guest does not happen on my show under any circumstances. Really, I'm very sorry, but the way he glared at you is not acceptable.
Yeah.
We never should have had him on the show. I didn't even want him here. I think the guy's a complete and total fool. And the fact that I attempted to have a sensible interview with an idiot like that,
Hang on, it gets worse.
Absolutely disgusting. And security, get the security from downstairs and get rid of him. Get rid of him, for Christ's sake.
Do you know what?
Get rid of him.
He's angry.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Is this? Oh my goodness. That is the dumbest shit I've ever seen.
Yeah. Well, here's the actual. I've got the actual full interview and stuff, right?
Yes, please.
So one of the things that that came out of this, which I found kind of interesting, was there was I guess there was actually two hosts to the program, the gentleman, and then there's a lady there to his right. I don't know what her name is, but they had this conversation, and he was asked this question, which and I think this because they kept asking him, he kept, I don't know, he was just very aloof. I would even call it disrespectful at times. He does, his whole thing is he, and he refers to, he gives his name, is different than the person that he sees on social media, that the social media is not him, it's not real, right? Of course, they're trying to pin him down and trying to get him to acknowledge the fact that he, by his actions and deeds and what he's putting out on social media, right, is inspiring others to do the same thing. That you have other creators and stuff that are now coming up, starting to mimic and do things as well, right? So the question is, which this kind of ties into the other thing, right? So if a streamer is saying, or whatever, does that, are they responsible for if their fans go out and start making and streaming and saying some of the things that they say? So that's the question, right? I do believe that you are responsible as far as you want to try to set a good example or whatever, right? But this guy does some, he took over a train. He got into a train, one of these, what do you call it? Subway, like above track. It's mass transit trains. Got in there and started, messing with it and what have you. He's broken into people's homes. He's a menace. This guy's an absolute menace. But anyway, this conversation between the two, this was kind of interesting.
Hey, Mizzy, on a serious note, are you currently in receipt of benefits?
Yes.
So actually you're working and receiving benefits at the same time. Are you a benefits fraudster?
No.
So what is your justification for saying you're not a benefits fraudster?
So you don't work
no,
at
hang on
all?
a second. Hang on a second. TikTok's a business.
No, but I don't work.
Okay, how much do you earn off TikTok?
I don't have a TikTok account. I've been banned.
No, okay.
I don't earn money from social media.
So whilst you're working, hang on. Whilst you're working for TikTok, making money, were you claiming benefits at that point?
No, because I was under 18.
Okay.
Shut down. Simple.
Shut down.
It was a question.
Mizzy, I've got a question for you. So I know you've spoken a lot about social media and how that's impacted you, and that you want to sort of.
Of course, and this just goes on into the previous clip we just watched, where he is on TikTok now. He himself, as far as he may not have an account, right? But he's got this group of guys around him, and it's theirs. And it's him making the content. They're filming it, right? He doesn't actually have an account because he, quote, was banned off of the platform, right? So, I don't know if those accounts are making money. If they are, I think it's safe to say he's probably receiving some monies. I would think they were giving him part of the proceeds from that. That logically makes sense. I don't know how it works over there in the UK. When they talk about getting benefits, is that basically like saying that he's receiving some sort of welfare? Is that what that means?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what that means.
Yeah.
I can't imagine the system is much different from ours, because most of the UK systems build off of Scandinavian healthcare systems, where when you earn a certain amount, you have to obviously register that for tax.
Sure.
And you can't get benefits if you earn above a certain amount, but if you
Sure.
earn below a certain amount, you can get benefits. So there could be just a likelihood that he's not earning that much, or he's getting the money under the table kind of situation.
Sure. So it sounds like it's like the same thing here in the States, right? If you meet certain criteria, right, like household income has to be below a certain amount, right, And, you know, if you've got several people in a household, right? Like if you've got a single mother, right? And maybe she's got, you know, 3 or 4 kids or whatever, that type of thing. She can file for assistance, and she can get assistance, right? To help with her expenses. But if she starts working, right, or if the kids themselves start working, like they get a part-time job or whatever at a, you know, fast food is, you know, business, something like that, they have to report that income, right? Because now there's income coming into the house. If they don't, they'll be found out, because again, the social security numbers and everything is all tied to the account. And now all of a sudden, you know, Social Security starts showing, hey, we got Social Security taxes coming in because little Billy here has got a job at McDonald's, you know, whatever, after school. And they don't report that. Well, then that's fraud, right? They didn't report this income, and there could be serious repercussions. They can actually lose. I've known situations where families were so dependent upon these benefits, right, that they would not allow their children to, when they got of age where they could, you know, go out and get a part-time job, whatever, they wouldn't allow them to do so, because it would adversely affect, you know, the family's draw every month. And, you know, and these kids, you know, they're wanting to go out and, you know, because they got a little bit of a work ethic, so they want to go out and earn some money, so they have some spending money of their own, so they can, you know, do things, go out with friends, or maybe they want to get a cell phone, or maybe they want to, you know, whatever, you know, whatever freedoms that is. It's really funny how money and freedom are kind of tied together, but, you know, that money afforded them. And so, I don't know, I've seen families that would flat out forbade their children from doing that. Anyway, this guy's a menace. He's been arrested I don't know how many times. I don't know why they don't just lock him up and put him up, period, and just be done with it. So
yeah, that's fair, but I think the interview there, that was a bit of an overreaction, I reckon.
Oh, hang on here. So I've got okay, hang on here. So Maggot edits. You're gonna get your
Masturbation is.
So let me pull this up over here. You wanted the
original?
full thing? The original, yes.
Thank you, Maggot.
Maggot has taken care of us here, because Maggot, she's a gem. So let's see what this, can I can't blow this up because this is on the, it's a short, so I can't blow that. Anyway, okay. Here we go.
Masturbation is a form of witchcraft. Not anyone is realizing that this is a demonic attack and it's a form of witchcraft. Masturbation is a form of control. You understand that you are literally controlling an orgasm. You're controlling your own pleasure. That is witchcraft. That is a curse that you begin to place over your own life that will then literally bleed into your future children's life. This means that this will become a generational curse that you started or that your parents started that will now go to the next generation. It's witchcraft. Cancel the assignment of wet dreams. I cancel the assignment of having orgasms in my dreams. I cancel the assignment of masturbation. I cancel the assignment of sexual immorality over my life. You got to bind the enemy. In the name of Jesus, we break all masturbation and witchcraft off your life now.
That is not what I thought that video was going to be like.
Well, what did you think it was going to be?
I thought it was going to be like a TikTok witch kind of thing where it was like positive or something.
No. It was. She's positive. She's
Christian.
positive that if you touch yourself, you're going to burn in the fires of hell.
Well, I agree with her.
Do you?
Repent, bitches.
Okay. Jeez. Oh, mercy sakes. All right, one last thing, I'm gonna get out of here. I'm going to shout out a smaller streamer. or I don't know if they're small or whatever, but someone that's up and coming, Badwick. Badwick actually tried out for Clear as Mud, but he has had some bad luck. He wound up in the hospital. Had to receive some healthcare treatments. Not for sure what all that was, but I know he was ill. He also one of his kids. I know he had a son that also got ill and had to receive some treatments as well. But he says that he will be streaming tonight. He's going to have open voice chat for the community to join. The two topics, he says he's going to go over my situation, what's going on. There is no update. This will be day one of the 10-day business, 10 working days, 10 business days that the other party has to respond to my counterclaims. So this is just day one. This is the start of the trek we're going to have. And should creators be held accountable for the audience? So sounds like he's going to try to go over, or not try to, he is going to be going over the whole argument that's kind of going on right now between Willie Mack and other creators and stuff in this space about, are we accountable for our audience? So anyway, Purple has been kind enough to put in Badwick's Twitch channel. He'll be going on at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard this evening. So let's go and support him this evening and show him a little bit of love. Other than that, I have nothing else to report. There's nothing else that I'm going to go over today. Thank you to Orson for the wonderful call. I hope that gets sorted out with. I would really love to say that hopefully your legislation over there.
Oh God! Oh God! People are coming! Holy
Max. Evidently, Max has been found out. They've probably got the vacuum cleaner. They're trying to probably they call it the Ghostbusters. And they probably got the beams and they're going to trap him.
They're gonna suck him.
Oh, I wonder if Shanri's trying to put him back in the jar. That's probably what's going to happen. They're probably putting him back in the jar. He's getting put back in the jar right now. Poor Max. He that's what happens though. He fucked around and he found out. Exactly. Shanri says he stole her peanut butter and she's putting him back in the jar.
Oh no.
Oh God. I would like to be optimistic and hope that the Irish government would wake up and turn away from this path that they're heading on about hate speech, but something tells me they won't. They'll barrel right down this road. The thing about it is that when you start limiting and regulating speech like that, right now, if you're like, oh yes, that's great, that's awesome, but then the problem is that swings a pendulum, and then the next thing you know, the pendulum is going to swing in the other direction, and then the next thing you know, because people are going to get fed up and they're going to outcry against this, this type of overreach, so they'll swing in the other way, and then the next thing you know, the people who were clamoring and wanting this are going to be then subjected to laws and legislation that's going to restrict them, and they're not going to like it. And it's probably going to be worse than what was originally in place. That's the nature of these things. That's what happens. It's called cause and effect. When you do something, there's always going to be an equal and opposite result of that action. It's physics. It's just the nature. It's just the nature of all things. Anyway, listen, you guys have a great day. I've got to get to work. Like I say, make sure and check out Bad Book this evening, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. He's over on Twitch. There's been a couple other videos and stuff that have come out over on YouTube as well. Go check them out. Some, now recording, recently put out a video. Wasn't too bad. Eva put out a video on her channel. It is a video to help you meditate, to help you kind of maybe find your center. If you're having some stress and if you're wanting, and you're kind of all of fluster, go check out Eva's channel and get her. And she can kind of help you get centered. Go check out the Clear as Mud recording yesterday. I thought we had a very interesting subject. I thought it was very good.
It was dog shit.
No, it was not dog shit. It was a good. It was a good show.
Terrible show.
No, it wasn't. It was a very good show. It was a very good show.
No.
Yeah.
Pretty bad.
Yeah.
Pretty bad.
Okay. All right, fine. I tell you what, you, the viewers, go watch. You make up your mind. You decide. If you agree with Seth, you think it was dog shit, go into the comments of the video. Down there, say Seth was right. This episode.
Send them hate.
Seth was right. This episode was dog shit. If you agree with me and you say no, I enjoyed this, then you maybe put a like on the video. You go in the comments, say no, Seth was wrong as normal, and this was a very good episode. Maybe something like that. So we'll let the people make their decisions on whether or not they like the episode or not. Right?
No, you're getting both things that you want now, though. You're getting people going on the comment being like, "This is good," and you're also getting them watching it. I'm trying to help people by not having them watch it.
Weird Caller Guy says that you're wrong, Seth.
Yeah, well, he has a weird ass fucking name. I don't give a shit.
Okay. Well, anyway, guys, on that note, remember to always keep your powder dry, and I will see you in the funny papers.
Can I?